Yeah, that, like I say, that's the only time that presents a problem, but that's me. That's, you know, and
You're talking the literati art story that doesn't have structure, and I'm not talking about lack of structure. I'm talking about the structure changing as your value scale changes.
Right.
And that's where the story changes for you, and it just will keep opening. And I wrote things back then, and I look at them now and go, how did I do that?
Yeah.
I didn't. I was working with a value scale, but accessing it from a different point.
Right.
So yeah, everybody reading my books might like them or hate them. That doesn't matter. It's the value scale you bring to bear. And the fun part about the storytelling I like to do is when I can flip-flop your value scale 180 and make you realize, whoa, there but for the grace. I would have done that on this value scale, I would not. Now, I have a chance to make a different choice, neither this nor this.
Right. Something else.
But you have to break the value scale, you have to accept another one in order to say, wait a minute. And then what do you make that's new? In another book, I might bust that box. Those boxes don't last, but you have to accept that they aren't going to last. Nothing's finite.
Nothing is
finite. So there is no right, wrong that is rigid, it gets flexible. And, you know, some people say, if you take that statement, you can make a slippery slope out of it. Absolutely, you can harm somebody irreparably. It's the value scale by which you're accessing. And you can't be afraid to examine your value scale all the time.
okay. What would you like to talk to me about that I haven't asked you? What would you like to talk about that I haven't asked? What's on your mind that's important? Because I cannot access everything that's in you, because you're a brand new individual to me.
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of the salient points. I think that what we may not have covered is why I love fantasy literature so much, and why I believe that since prehistoric times, imaginative storytelling has been part of the human condition.
For a long, long time.
Because that's how we examine our myths, and our myths are our beliefs, and our beliefs are how we adjust our behavior and how we determine our civilizations and tear them down.
Yes.
That's where our faith is placed, is in our myths, and when myths break, how do we cope? So fantasy literature gives us an arena to take the gloves off. Any concept can be fair game, and it's disconnected now from you as an individual's personal ideology. You can hate that character doing that all you want, and it might be a piece of yourself. Might be a piece of your real mythscape. Might be something vital to your philosophy. But you can let it play out on that page and not be threatened. So I love the idea of taking the gloves off and really getting dirty with an issue and saying, this is in our faces.
That's a lot of fun.
Without having to get in your face.
Right.
And threaten your belief system, and giving you the freedom to look at that idea and completely reject it.
So, but people don't see, as many people as I've encountered in my life, I'm sure there'll be thousands more, there seems to be a, not preordained, but presiding or prevalent disposition that if you don't believe in somebody else's point of view, whether it be religion, culture, whatever, you have to attack it. And I think we're undermining ourselves and doing a great disservice to ourselves.
That's the
As
chauvinistic
by
battle.
doing that,
Yeah.
we're being aggressive. We're putting people in the box once again. We're being
Yeah, but wait, aggression has a place.
Pardon?
Aggression has a place. You watch two animals interact, and when one gets in the other's space, there's an aggressive moment. That's a warning. When we're taught to suppress that aggressive moment, nobody gets the warning. Next thing you know, you're blowing their head off because you've gone off the scale of when you could safely say, back off, you're in my face.
Well, I would like for us to get to a point where it's always talkable. Things are always talkable. I think it's when we stop talking, that words turn to bullets.
That, and when we forget that there's certain values that are shared in the values that are different.
Yes, yes. So we have
And the attitude that
we have-
differences must be eliminated. But, I mean, at one time, possibly, it was a survival function that said you needed to hang together with like to like in order to live.
Yes.
But we're beyond that now on a global scale. We all can't live alike. That's pretty evident.
Well, I think we failed to realize that. I think you're correct. I just think we haven't realized that as a group.
But that's part of that open focus feminine.
Right.
The all can have the solutions, and the solutions are many, and the ways to approach it are many. I mean, you know, the Iron Curtain mentality, we're going to make sure everybody's fed and everybody's safe. Look what it produced. The corruption wasn't gone, it just got iron-fisted, but also the lack of choice made a dead world.
Yeah.
So to have a vibrant world, you might have to incorporate that not everything's going to be orderly. Life may be a bit messy. And that's part of the vibrancy. That's part of free choice.
Yeah.
But take away that free choice, and immediately, whose choice do you have? Now you're talking organized religion.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
I'm not very friendly with dogma.
With.
Dogma.
Oh no.
I'm
We
not-
don't
I don't-
want. We don't want to get into that. We'll have
No.
a bloody scene here.
But if you're not going to have that, you have to learn that you can sit in a taxi cab with a person that's espousing a viewpoint that's completely opposite of what you believe,
And sit there and let them have their being.
and say, that's your life. It's not my life.
Right. No, I agree.
But that life doesn't have to threaten my life.
Yeah.
We can coexist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, if I had to define the one chokehold people do to one another is, I know what's right for you, the old should. And you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. You know what's right for you, and are you listening carefully enough? But you never are, because your box is going to break and change. And you know, you don't ever stop growing. And if you can't look back and say that was a mistake and cry over it, you know, accept that you make the best choice you can from where you are.
Yes.
How can you ever let go
And move forward.
yeah, you've got values
Yeah,
stuck in the
yeah.
past all the time, so you have to be willing to cry over your mistakes.
Yeah.
And that takes saying, I'm sorry, and that also means taking the blame, but not punishing yourself. Saying, okay, I only have the present. What can I do different?